Greetings, mortals. I am Natas, the ruler of the underworld. The Underweek is here, so it's time to talk about some manga chapters. So yeah, we'll start this week off with two chapters from Shadow House because let's. One issue with series like Shadow House is the fact they are kind of all over the release schedule. Like sometimes they'll have a chapter, a pretty consistent basis within all times. It's gonna take a month for the next chapter, and then only a couple of days, less than a week, and the next chapter is already gonna come out. But I think I've already complained about this release schedule for House and Shaw and some other series beforehand. So for now, let's just talk about the two that came out, and the first one is Shadow House chapter 205, titled Downfall, and oh boy, is this a satisfying chapter and possibly a very controversial moment soon as well. But whatever, we will not be talking about what could happen, we'll be talking about the chapter itself. Well, we are still going to talk about what could happen, but that's okay. We're not going to be talking about uh, things that we need to wait a couple of chapters in the future. Well, we will. You know what I mean. So, anyways, we start this chapter off with Edward's group having a discussion about Lewis's body, and yeah, like we could have figured it out. Edward confirmed that body that was in the what was it called, the unification room wasn't Lewis. It was Margaret and Maggie or whatever the doll's face is gonna be, the bitch that betrayed her mistress, but whatever. So Edward says that after analyzing the body and the hair color and eyes, although I think that's just general information. I think they're just because again I think the eyes was there to be been cut off. Regardless, are different, and they would have removed that if Edward had noticed the skull on the neck. So that's kind of the giveaway. Kind of fine that that Anthony decided to kill Morgan in a way where she would raise the biggest amount of suspicions from Edward. Like, if he had, actually no, if he did it on a body, then probably would be noticeable. Honestly, there's no way you could have killed. I mean, I guess unless there was some poison, maybe that would work. But regardless, the way that Anthony killed the faceless doll was the giveaway that Edward realized something was going on, as they also realized this is Margie because they did some Ellie checked under Maggie's nails, and then she found dirt there, and they pretty much were able to confirm, oh yeah, then this has to be the recently deceased Shadow Margaret from the Suit Ivy incident, because it's like one to one in terms of like, all right, she's about similar enough to Louise, so we would definitely not be able to know if we didn't check it more thoroughly. She was recently deceased, I mean, there's a corpse, so yeah. Although it's kind of interesting that they mentioned, I guess it's kind of interesting the fact they are mentioning the corpse and everything like that, because it was there that they can't give a burial to the human. So I guess maybe they did still bury the human, but they just couldn't, memorialize her or anything. But regardless, they managed to Edward's group figured it out, and they also realized there has to be someone else, because while they are definitely said the cave was the reason why Lewis's body was swapped out, this doesn't explain how she managed to get her hands on the dolls, on the living dolls, and the bodies, because there's no way for children to acquire them. The same reason goes to Lewis, because they also figure out Lewis is the traitor, because Lewis was the one who was guarding it. So him suddenly, so for him to be, not know. I mean, he was literally in a room when he was guarding so the unification process would go smoothly, but it didn't go. So clearly, he had to have been involved. But they also realized that he wouldn't be able to get his hands on the bodies from the children's wing because he's a first floor resident. So someone has to be doing something behind the scenes they're not seeing. So yeah, and so Edward is aware of Anthony's presence, but he doesn't know Anthony. which I think Anthony even did bring up a couple of chapters when he was doing his grand reveal and all that. That oh yeah, Edward probably realized that by now. I do not know what his next move is gonna be, but Anthony has a plan for that. So yeah. Anyways, as they're finding out that Lewis is a spy and a traitor, they then discuss about how they're gonna get information out of him for the person who is working with him. Which Ellie throws the plan to torture him. So basically, being the sadist of the group, as we kind of, it's kind of funny how Ellie is the sadist of the group. I mean, I get the like. I know we should be kind of expecting this, but from these kind of characters, but it's still kind of funny to think like it's like these little moments with Ellie that are very interesting. How sadistic she is. But regardless, as they are discussing this, they hear a knock on the door as Edward goes to answer that, and they see Lewis there. Now, Edward, after finding out that Lewis is, betrayed and all that, he then immediately starts screaming at him like, how dare he be here? I'm assuming he's more screaming at him being because he's a first floor resident, and now he's on the second floor, which he shouldn't be allowed on, since, there's like the whole status system here, but or hierarchy system, whatever you call it, and it's like there's no reason for for a guy who's just a random member of the first floor to showing up randomly. But Lewis happily declares to Edward, "Oh, Master Joseph is calling you. I was called to take you to him." So yeah, Lewis knows something is up. Uh, so yeah. Anyways, Edward goes to meet Joseph, and Joseph is just as soon as Edward shows up, Joseph basically just responds with, "Oh, Edward." You see, in this a remote area of the island, there's a village there. We don't really have any benefit from it, and we don't really have any benefit from it, so we can't just left it to its own. But no, we feel like we could re remake it so it would benefit Shadow House as we're trying to expand more. You know what I mean? If we want to expand to the outside world, we also need to have the entire island benefiting us. So it's just simple logic. Yeah? Anyway, so yeah, you will go there, Edward, as well as take Ali and Gerald with you. I mean, they are basically your groupies anyway, so you're probably gonna need those two. So yeah, anyways, good go there. As then Edward is kind of shocked by this information because he's a person because he's a child's wing overseer, so he really can't be going to revitalize a village that's let's just say by the looks of that village it's definitely in decay. Like it's definitely needs more than just a little remaking, if you know what I mean. But yeah, anyways, Edward is kind of shocked by this as he's like, "Oh wait, what? What do you mean I'm being sent to a remote area? Did did you not? What about the evidence I brought to you in that bag? What about finding you a new source of energy, Sarah? What are you going to say about that?" And as Anthony Edward starts talking about all this, like all of his achievements or everything he's done for this third floor residence right now, Joseph just like slowly like inhales the cigar that he always has, and he's like, "Do you not understand what's going on here, Edward? You are getting demoted from your position because the amount of shit that you've done and failed at is spectacular." Like Joseph literally goes through everything that Edward has done that made him that is the reason why he's now getting demoted. Basically, like he's giving a very professional and very much. Okay, the attempt here is to not give us a review on what Joseph is really thinking, so his explanation is more, you know, objective than subjective kind of thing. So he's like, "Edward, your debuts have been failures because you want to show off your ego. Literally, I mean, okay, I'm assuming there's probably more debuts, but we've only seen two of them. There might be three. I don't really know when counts get that and not, but regardless, there are at least two debuts, and in one, only the one who's already destined to failed, and the second who no one failed. And the point of this is so there is a failure. It's like there are not supposed to be many children that are able to come to a children's children's wing. Like whenever we cut to past or new ones coming in, it's always like a very small group. Like we have Barbara's group where it's just her and Mary Rose. We have okay, Anthony's group was actually a group of four, and by the looks of it, it was all four of them managed to succeed, but it's not desirable and not the desirable outcome. In fact, I think when at the beginning of this story, when we had like a lot of these, who is everyone, who came out with everyone, it was like there was a couple ones who were alone, but they were most like duos or trios that came along. But yeah, we got most are on their own. Most of them, the last that graduate, the last that managed to proceed, the better it is for Shadow House. So seeing Edward, who had like two debut, well at least three debuts, and from what we've seen of two of them, they are basically no one failed except the ones who was already predisposed to failure. It's not a good look. Then you also have the suit thing with Barbara. Like, I went back, before I made this video, I went back to see how Edward was acting there to kind of remind myself of how despicable Edward is. And first of all, the fact that it's been over 50 chapters since then, it was kind of surprising to get reminded of that. But it's also the fact that ever doing that thing is super smug about it. Like, oh, Christopher, Master Christopher is already dead. That's why I'm in charge. Or like, oh, you are producing suit? Oh, well, alright. You really shouldn't be doing stuff, but whatever. Anyways, do what you have to. La la la. Oh yes, it's closing the door down. Edward is really smug about it. So seeing him getting comeuppance for that thing with Barbara is very cathartic because remember, like the thing that made Barbara very useful to everyone was the fact that she produces so much suit. So her being demoted from the position of star bearer isn't an issue when it comes down to it. So I imagine you don't even need, but I imagine that the whole being a star bearer was more of a formality's sake and stuff, anything else. Just a reason for why she can't be, more of just a to the children's explanation. If it came down to the adults, it would just be like, she's useful as a producer of suit. Sure. Do not promote. Don't make her an adult. Ryan would probably be like, yeah. Keep her there. I don't give a shit. If she's more useful, as a child in a child's ring, then keep her there. I would like to taste her suit, but it's fun. But it's unnecessary sacrifice. Like I don't think anyone would really have objections to keeping Baba in the children's wing permanently. But the fact that I would basically want to try to kill her, yeah, that was kind of where the deal break. That was like an issue. And then Joseph also mentions Thomas's escape, which basically confirms that Anthony had something to do with Thomas's escape. It's unclear if he's had put some kind of brainwashing thing in him, or if he just was expecting him to be broken out, but just have an ear out in case if that happens. But whatever he knew about the Thomas, or maybe not. It could be possible that that was just an accidental thing where they just have some spies that managed to figure it out. They didn't require Anthony, but whatever. And he also and there are a few other things that Edward Joseph mentions, but it's essentially basically like, you failed so many times at this point. You need to do something to make up for it. Your little Thomas save there, and your new energy source, and you'll find proof that Kate is skewing something. Yeah, all of those things are not making up for all of your mistakes, you idiot. As then Joseph just tells him dismiss. So yeah, Edward is very broken at that as and in fact he's so broken that as soon as he leaves the room, he just kind of like not slams, but kind of like puts his way on the doors to Joseph's office. It's like, as then Lewis comes in, as then Edward grabs Lewis and starts, who are you working for? Who is the one who's doing this? Who? as he just start to scream and freak out because he was started like so up high, but then in a span of honestly probably a couple of days, if we're being clear. I mean, between the debut and all, I think actually I think it's is it literally just 2 days? It might be just 2 days now that I think about it because the part it was stated the part. I mean, I guess it couldn't be 2 days since was it three? In a span of a, okay, I would say at least has to be like I would say at least three at the minimum 3 days. Edward went from the top of the world to not only getting down by none of his Kate accusations doing anything or kind of process at all to also getting all of his failures figured out and then getting uh, demoted to the furthest reach of the for the furthest of the reach of the Shah House. So yeah. And anyways, as Edward is freaking out, we didn't have Joseph coming out probably. But I don't know. I'm not sure if he was expecting it, but probably if expecting if Edward was going to start freaking out if he saw Lewis or if it's just like, what's that annoying noise? But anyways, Joseph goes out and tells Edward, "Oh, so uncivilized, Edward. This Lewis is the new is the second floor resident and the new overseer of the children's wing. This is such improper behavior." As Edward, as Lewis then just goes to leave because he's also very smart about it. Like, as far how is Joseph the only one you don't want to punch in the face right now? Like, of all people, why is Joseph the only one that I don't feel like punching in the face right now? For crying for crying out loud, Edward's a sound user villain. Why do I not? Do I want to punch him in the face more than I want to punch Joseph? But anyways, we come to some time later as we have Gillard, Ailey, and Edward in the on the carriage ride to their new residence, and you can tell that all of them are just in pure despair because they're not talking, they don't even look at each other. They're just like, how did this happen? How are we getting placed there? But anyways, they then arrive at okay, not at their new place of residence because they just arrive at where the carriage, the one that has the carriage over, can go forward. Probably because the mud would probably just get in the way, and then these are pristine carriages and all that for nobles, so they really shouldn't be getting dirty by mud. But regardless, he just tells this is where he's going to stop now. There's about I think I'm not sure if he says 2 hour walk from there or is it a 3 mile walk or something. I don't really know, but anyways, you can totally see that they are not anywhere where they used to be because because when they are leaving, I mentioned now it took 2 hours of a carriage ride from actually no, I think that's where I got the 2 hour from the carriage ride. 2 hour carriage ride from where they left on a train station to this place, and this is still not the location they have because they have to walk to it, and that's still a couple of miles away. So yeah, they are, and the social there's like no one there to greet them. So essentially, they have to walk all the way back to their place and carrying all their luggage. And it's also rainy and it's in the middle of the night. So yeah, they are so far. They've fallen so far, even before the literal fall. So yeah. Anyways, after that, they are kind of just walking to that, and you can tell they are struggling. Like Edward, just even this seems like one of those areas where it's just like so covered with mud that they actually like go. You actually need to like make big steps of movement so you don't like just I guess strip or whatever because Edward does like these exaggerated stumps like ugh, all this mud. So yeah. Anyways, then we have them find. Then it gets to a point that Edward trips and he falls right next to a horse's ass. Oh, this is so cathartic. Which scares Edward. It was like, ah! As then Gillard is this where we're gonna be living? As Alice then looks around at as like, is this seriously of the place that are resident? How are we supposed to stay sane in this kind of location? As then Edward enters the house, he sees like there's cobwebs everywhere, and there's like a bunch of mice and everything, and then he like steps a bit back, and that kind of like during winter you have like logs put to a side so you could start your heater and put it in the fireplace. That's basically what he trips into. That whole thing kind of breaks down a bit. As then Edward starts screaming, "Damn it! I'm a noble! I shouldn't be living like this! I'm a noble! I'm the most noble of them all! I shouldn't be living! I shouldn't be in this kind of place or anything!" As then he also starts declaring that I will get you. I don't know who you are, or where you are, but I will find you the one who's responsible, referring to Anthony, for this, and I will have my vengeance. As then he also like see the logs also falling down. He also causes Edward to trip down, and I think it's kind of visually different to tell if he's like if he also like walked to some area and he fell into the basement. But I think it's just meant to be like he just the logs had him trip as he then his butt onto his knees and like as then he screams about being covered with webs and everything. Like Edward is someone who a very classy individual, so him being reduced to this kind of state is not making him any happier. It is a very big punishment, and yeah, he is going down. So he really did fall. Now let's before we end. Actually, I think it's best that we just end this chapter and then talk about this chapter's future potential or the controversial part about this chapter. But yeah, anyways, we didn't call Wave as Edward is screaming in hatred over the person who's causing this. He's then got to Anthony, who's just on a balcony overviewing on what happened. He probably just got word for Lewis that Edward's group got demoted and are now living in the boonies. And Lewis is right now being like, huh, this is definitely not going to stop Edward. Like, his role and his part in my plan is over, but he's probably gonna still try to do something. It doesn't matter, really, because, again, Anthony has such a high ego. Like, he makes characters like Edward look like modest in comparison. So Anthony doesn't really think much, but anyways, he thinks that he is at least removed for the time being. And he also says that everything went according to plan. In fact, kind of comically so when you really think about how Joseph did exactly what I was hoping him to do. I kind of wonder if there was some kind of other benefit from Joseph by this. How could he have benefited? Oh well, I can't really do much about it right now. If there is a benefit, I'll figure it out later. Right now, I have to focus on cultivating the children. As we did end the chapter with Anthony's back, as he's just declared that he'll be starting his education of the children in his twisted and fucked up way, which we are luckily getting explained to in the next chapter. So yeah, let's get over Joseph's plan in general. Now, the way I view it is Joseph's plan right now is that of a waiting game because he can't really making big moves now could just put Anthony. I'm assuming that Joseph knows of Anthony. It's kind of difficult to say what Joseph's view is. Like, does he just consider Kate as an enemy, or does he consider Kate as an beneficial part of his plan, or what? It's again difficult to really understand. But I think what Joseph wanted was kind of a reducing of the chaos around it, with Edward being gone and whoever is involved in this is probably from the Georgia wing, meaning that he and Kate are going to clash hands. So it's probably gonna be it's better to keep them doing their stuff and seeing if they are working together or not. I could also see like a thing where he wants to like remove the more important pieces or beneficial pieces from the board. Like he views like as a potential, but it would be better if he's just rebuilding the city in the outskirts than him trying to improve himself there in the house. Again, it's kind of difficult to say. Maybe it's like a purge. Like maybe he wants to remove a lot of the uselessness from the shadow houses, lower floors. It's kind of difficult to say, but that could be what he's doing with right now. But again, it shows that we don't really know much about the guy. Hell, I don't even think we've ever got like any inner thoughts from him in this entire story. I mean, he's definitely commented on things before, but I don't think we've ever gotten like inner monologues, him getting his view on the situations or anything like that. Like, it's always been, you do this, you do this. I agree what you did said here. All right, let's. All right, that's enough. We'll go. So yeah, that's kind of the thing with Joseph right now. It's again difficult to say, but for Edward. Now there are a couple now with Edward's situation. A couple people mentioned this place that Edward was saying that he needs to reintegrate into Shower House and has to rebuild this mining town. So people mentioned, oh, this has to be like one of those mining towns that Anthony was at. The ones who had the the Mirror family still present, which is definitely a possibility. Which oh my god, and when Edward realizes this, and assuming these villages are just entirely a Mirror family, which I don't think so. At least that's not what it's implied. Are all still loyal. Finding out there's like new residents from the Shadow House is definitely not gonna put them in any the better. It's gonna even demote them even more. In fact, that's probably why George Anthony wanted to throw Edward to one of those places so he could have the people from the Mayor family cannibalize them or something. I don't know. Not literal cannibalize, but breed them down even more and make them useless kind of thing. So, anyways, that's what. So a lot of people mentioned that, but again, it's kind of difficult to say exactly how this is gonna go because I mean we don't even see the village. Like it says it's a village, but all we have is like one little. I want to say house, but it kind of just looks like they're in this kind of weird like this kind of stable, all things considered. But whatever. It doesn't seem to like be like a very big thing. I don't know. I would be find it funny if it's revealed that Edward's group just went to the wrong place to begin with. So yeah. Anyways, they'll definitely be revealed. So, anyways, there's that possibility that he might unite with them, and then he'll find out about Anthony and all that type of stuff, which is definitely a possibility. And I could definitely see him though. I would really like to see what kind of especially he's gonna make it once he finds out about Anthony and all that type of stuff. When ever he's able to keep himself so young, consider how everyone else does look older, but whatever. So yeah. Now another thing that people have been fearful of is that Anthony might get, or that Albert might get kind of a redemption arc, or kind of go alongside Kate, which I really don't think that should happen because Edwards has been a real big douchebag to Kate and everyone for so long. So him siding with Kate right now would just kind of be undeserved, unprompted, and I mean, Thomas, at least you could say, hasn't really bad in the story, hasn't really done enough terrible shit to characters. It's like he's lesser in that perspective, but then you get to like Edward, who remember again. 50 chapters, a bit more than 50 chapters ago, he was happily declaring to Barbara, Christopher's that. Yeah. Christopher's that. Oh, you gonna blow up? Blow up yourself. I'm finally gonna be able to get rid of Thomas. Woohoo! As he like super smugly closed the door and remember this is Baba. He has a lot of history with Baba. Like I'm not saying he had like a sibling relationship, but they were together with Christopher when he was still in children's wing, and then she worked under him when he was the children's overseer. So the two of them have a long history together, and the guy still smugly declared, "Bye bye, bitch." So yeah, I don't think that would make sense for a redemption. I think it's just going to go into like a four-way war kind of situation, but whatever. I hope at least we're not going for Edward's redemption arc because I don't think the guy deserves it at this point. So yeah. Anyways, with this chapter shows on, let's go into chapter 106 titled Discord. So we start this chapter off with John declaring that he's back in action as he's removed from the. There's a bit of a time skip. I think 2 months time skip. But anyways, he's declared that he's back in action since now he no longer has his like hand brace thing that he had beforehand. So he's able to like open and close his arm normally and everything. But anyways, as Ali is having relieved about as Evelyn is being relieved that he's now finally back and all. He then John then mentions about the atmosphere of the hospital as we get like a little bit of an overview and see that after that Anthony's education of the children, preparation for the fight, which everyone is kind of where they're playing adults here and evil adults and all that type of stuff. They kind of knows that there's a very down and despairful moon because he sees that like a lot of shadow masters and face and the dolls are currently hospitalized. Like we see a panel where we have a bunch of them on the of the Shadow Masters on the bed being exhausted with the relief team helping them, and then we have like another one who comes and says, "Oh, the doll got the doll got hurt. This is the wrong hospital. The one for the face for the dolls is down below." So they even change the whole a faceless doll, a human thing. Well, bravo, Edward, Anthony, you're really proving to why you should be king. So they basically had to like split the hospital for two because that's how many incidents there are. So it's best to just have it be split between face dolls and shadow masters. As then. As they are, and the reason why they're also hurt is because they are doing a lot of battle training. Like the main, like Christopher's main goal now is to you basically speed up everyone's power capability, so they'll be a lot stronger than let's say your average doll. So like King in the start debut was like in the first floor resident, but his power was relatively weak. Like you even mentioned how weak his power was to the point that Evelyn was able to overcome him, and I think even Douglas also was able to overcome him in suit capabilities. So basically, the idea not so yeah. Basically, the idea is to make all of the children's well, at least the ones who are stronger, to make them capable of fighting the adults. So they're all currently in a fight with them. And this atmosphere does kind of puts John a bit down, be like he doesn't like this mood, like he finds it kind of stuffy and all that type of stuff. As then Evelyn tells John that he shouldn't be saying stuff like this, despite being a very logical concern. And Evelyn is basically the main character in this chapter. We can't get a lot of her viewpoint here, but yeah. Anyways, then. John, kind of, all right. If we need to if I can be useful to Kate by getting these medals and be recognized by Christopher, then I am going to do that. Just that, as I was like, yes, that's the spirit. As then we got to just kind of walking around and kind of checking out the place that's the current location. She knows that like no one in the that the all of the rooms that you were previously used for like dancing, reading books, eating, socializing, all of those are completely empty. Especially also the greenhouse, which is even more painful one to remember that the one who was like the most invested into the plants there was killed by Anthony. So it's like another kind of reminder about the type of stuff Anthony does. Where it's like, oh, he killed the one that was the most active in the greenhouse, but now no one's even using the greenhouse. Like he killed it, so he even like so he basically not only did he was he the reason why Margaret died and her doll died, but he also now even spits on her face even more so because now he even made the house the place that she loved the most and be the most in and the most active in was also destroyed. Because now no one even uses it anymore. I mean, okay, you want to say brainwashing, but essentially, it's kind of like you could say it's brainwashing as well. The reason why, because like Patrick and Peter, I believe it was the guy from Douglas disciplinary teams, team would both there, and Peter has to worry about discipline, so he can go, and Patrick also has to focus on that thing because he's a team leader, so he has to be like an example. Yeah, Patrick is a team leader, so he has to be like an example to the rest of his team. So yeah, they're both stuck, not even working there, and no one's even been working there. So I am just now imagining there was gonna be like a chapter or something where Patrick's gonna come there and see like how every plant flower is completely dead, even though he promised that he'll keep taking care of it and all. But no, he can't. He failed his promise. So yeah, Anthony's really just spitting at graves at this point. So yeah. Anyways, then Margaret explains, Evelyn explains to us the reason why no one's using these is for the battle training they are doing, which is like which we did. She goes into the training room where she sees like a bunch of the students there. They're all like fight doing training in their own sense. So like we see the guy who's the main antagonist in well the guy who fought John. They're like breaking rocks and all that. As then we see a couple of the ones who don't have powers, the ones who haven't awakened to them, screaming, "Hey, you should focus on the us who don't have powers yet, so we can manifest them. It's not just on the ones who already have powers." As Douglas's team is like, no, wait your turn, calm yourselves. Look, there's a tiny place there. Just go train there. And then that person, we'll get to this person later, but this kid is like, no, that one's too small, we want a bigger area. And then Douglas like, you're so selfish and all that. Basically, it's like a boot camp in a sense. So yeah, anyways, and explain the reason why people are trying so hard on the dolls, and another thing I forgot to mention previously with John is that we see the Bella's blood twins there as we bringing their doll Bella there with her again being under the effect of the suit and being uh, suit with those ashes, what's it called? Those little things. That apparently what it happens, the Mirabelle and Isabella were using their powers on Bella to control her body, but then one of those suit things attacked her, or maybe it manifested inside of her. I think it was I think they said attached to. It was attached to her. It jumped on her and took her over again. So she's again under that like effect, which is more painful because if you remember like if you remember season 2, one Bella died by oversuitness, and then now this Bella's again under the effects. Like no wonder Kate still viewed the Bella mentally incapable, well, physically incapable to be on that team because at this point she's probably gonna have a relapse or anything else if she might not have already had one. Again, we'll get into it later. So, anyways, yeah, it's again like just showing how Anthony's education is just causing more trouble. And anyways, and the way how he does that is that he offers everyone medals based off if they're recognized by Master Christopher. So we see like these like very simplistic medals, they're like very tiny. They're basically like so you can have multiple of them. And basically the way it's explained, like one person gets like 5 medals is one level. So if you don't have a medal, you have no level. But if you have 5 medals, you're level 1. If you have 10 medals, you're level 2. If you have 13, well, if you have 30 medals, you have level 3, and so on and so on. And the main point is that you are trying to get these medals as quick, well, as many as you possibly can to get the highest rank. So Evelyn explains to us that people who are on the special teams, like herself, Douglas and Oliver, we see them their medals as well. Like we see that these three have like, I think she has like 30, Douglas has like 12, and Oliver has like 13. Not no, Evelyn has 30. Kate, Evelyn have the most with 30, I believe. Douglas and Oliver, I think, have like 25, 25. No, 20. Yeah, 25 or so. No. Wait, I'm no, I'm back. Okay. I'm trying to remember how these mouse look like, but they're very tiny shots. We don't have specific now, but no. Kate has 15. Evelyn also, I believe, has 15. Douglas has 12. And Oliver has 13. Because they are a special team. And I'm assuming that it's the same for their teams as well. Like they generally have higher numbers than most people, so they have like an unfair advantage. So but everyone else in the amongst the children has to like work extra hard. So even team leaders have to work extra hard, and we even get like a little shot of how like things go. Like this is a bit more of a multi-day kind of thing because we see like John already what can only be about 2 days or so after, well, not 2 days, maybe a little bit after he took the trial, having like 2 medals. When we have like Patrick having 5 medals, with the buff guys, they're going to be from the guy who was on the lead of the girls team, because everyone there is health uncertain. Have like fifth, have like 6, 7 matches. Then we also have like that a purple dressed one, the one the purple dressed team leader has like 3 already. Then there's the two two muscular kids that both have like 5 or 4 or so medals. Like it's clear that there is the ones who are the most capable and physical. They are clearly the ones that have the most amount. And Patrick also's ability of erasing suit powers is also makes him give him a lot higher ranking. So when anyone else is struggling just to be recognized to get 1 medal, those ones are like speed blitzing. Again, John just got off hospital and he already has 2 medals. When we have characters like character who's going to be appearing very soon, who's been trying for days to a point of death, literally, we'll get into it, can't even get 1 medal. So there's clearly a unfair advantage to some of these than others don't have. And that's not even including the ones who get it from the daily activities they do as members of specialized teams. So yeah, anyways, then after we get that explanation, we cut back to Evelyn going around as she goes to Barbara's room, and she's like, a house visit, because Barbara's hospitalized state is a bit more. It'll be best if she just stays in her room because there's not really much of a difference. I mean, Bobby can be as a extra assistant anyways. So yeah, anyways, as she enters, she sees that Barbara is starting to be woken up. As Barbara starts screaming, "That's not Master Christopher! His behavior does not fit! What did that doll do to him, Master Christopher?" As Bobby is trying to calm down Barbara. I say calm down, but as soon as she stops panicking and releasing suit, it's not as big as when she almost killed Bobby the second the both times. But it's still releasing a bit of it. She then tells its Master Christopher's back. We are planning on taking the house so he can become a king, so he can become the leader that we all know he's supposed to be. Which at those words, Barbara is starting to calm down. She's like, Master Christopher is going to be the leader. Master Christopher is going to be the leader. Master Christopher. Until Barbara just falls asleep. And it seems to be explained. The way this study set out makes it look like whenever Barbara is not asleep, she has panic attacks and starts screaming about that's not Christopher and that's just this has to be Anthony doing something to him. But every time Barbara just has to calm her down with the Christopher's gonna be king, and she falls asleep. So essentially, the state that she's in is awful. Like she's literally capable of doing anything. She's literally bedridden and can't do shit. Like she doesn't even fucking have mouths on her mind. She probably doesn't even know about these mouths at all. So she's completely like helpless in this situation. With Evelyn talking, she's still saying the same thing. As Bobby just comments like, oh yeah, she's been set. I thought that after Master Christopher returned, she would get better, but it just seems like she got worse. I don't really know. So yeah, I am really concerned about what mental state these two have right now because, okay, we don't really have any direct information right now, but I'm starting to suspect, especially what we see at the end of this chapter, that Bob probably may know more, or is at least a bit more aware, but it's better to just be blissfully ignorant right now. But whatever. Barbara is just keeping her, I guess, job at taking care of Barbara as Barbara is in the hospital at the state. As Evelyn also just keep her back and this is just a mess. But anyways, then we are. Then we have Evelyn back in the medical office as she's kind of like going through the notes. As we have a bit of a ruckus happening outside, as Douglas brings in a kid who I'm going to assume is the new one amongst the. I want to say he had a abuse, but more like one of the new kids that was brought in who is currently, I don't think he just came up here. I think this is meant to be like he just came into the house. Someone who, because like, I think the idea here is that this is someone who isn't even aware how good Master Christopher's rule as a Starbearer was. This guy only knows Master Christopher from the way anyone else talks about him to show us again the effects that Anthony's rule has and the negativity from it. So this kid's name is Nicholas. I'm assuming the face doll. His name is Nick, and this kid is being dragged to Evelyn by Douglas and telling him that this kid has been in the training room from dawn till dusk, and he hasn't rested on anything. You are going to exhaust yourself, and you're going to die. So I'm here to take you to her so she can confirm there's no actual injury or anything and basically just Douglas is playing his role as the disciplinary team. Like, no, too much, and he does that as Evelyn backs him up, saying, "Yes, Douglas is right. You are going to get in serious problems if you continue." But Nicholas does not listen to that. Instead, he's more focused on. He's being pissed off the fact that he hasn't even gotten one medal. Well, not only do the Evelyn and Nicholas have Evelyn and Douglas have so many medals, but they even have an easier time getting their medals. So he's outraged over that, and he says that he will be recognized by Master Christopher as he runs away because Douglas and Evelyn are more taken back and more upset about the words he said. Because again, he pointed out the fact how easy it is for them to get it, what Evelyn herself admitted, it's easier for them to get recognized by Master Christopher while he has to struggle so much and he can't even get one medal because again he looks young, he looks relatively new, and he looks like he's not able to even have powers like the rest of them do. So she agrees with him in some sense. But anyways, then we got to a little bit later afterwards. I think it's just like off hours. She's kind of talking with Eve. She's like, when we were, was Master Christopher's teachings really like this? Like, I get the necessity, but just saying, looking back, I didn't really think his rule would be like this. Because again, that's kind of the flaw in, this is the flaw in Anthony's plan. He plans on everyone to follow his lead, to follow Christopher, because Christopher had so much sway and was so popular and viewed so great and the golden generation, all that. So everyone would want to follow him. Even the people who don't want to follow him, the stories they have from Christopher would make them want to follow that with Christopher. But now when he uses such tactics, it's kind of different. Like, it's easy for everyone to think, oh, you're the greatest when you're just, teaching them, being very charismatic, using your brainwashing powers to make people even more happy around you. But then you start having these kind of things where people are constantly in the hospital wing. People are, people are training to a point of exhaustion. People are suffering. No one is happy. Everyone is in a negative space. People are gonna start questioning. They may not start thinking, oh, Master Christopher was obviously the wrong choice. It's more like, this isn't really the type of style I thought we were going to be getting with the Master Christopher being in charge, and that's kind of what it has happened now. People are starting to kind of question with Evelyn, the person who is the closest to the consequences of the way that Anthony is teaching these kids and raising these kids, starting to kind of notice things don't make sense. And as they say this, we made even the most perfect representation of this has in beginning of this conversation, Eve says that Master Christopher is the right choice, but then Evelyn brings all of these flaws with it, and she starts to be like, it's almost like these evil adults that are fighting is Anthony. Because because Anthony also puts himself in charge of a lot. I think he like put himself in charge, like overseeing things. A lot of reports about how anyone is showing themselves comes from Anthony. So it's like, why would a faceless a face doll, be in charge? Especially since again, Anthony did not change that kind of mentality about dolls and mistresses and shamans and all that. He very much kept it. He just well, he didn't even do anything about it. He just has both of them training to get medals and whatever. So yeah, and so yeah, Eve realizes, wait, this doesn't make sense, and he technically should be an adult right now. So why would he not be one of these evil adults? So she realizes this, but immediately she kind of gets broken out of this brainwashing because when you think about stuff like this, I mean, coffee becomes weak over time. I'm sure that Christopher gets like new file thanks to Lewis gets new files those hot coffee, so he keeps them under control, but slowly they're gonna get quicker and quicker in terms of getting rid of it, and that's what is going on here with uh, Evelyn bleeding, and now when she thinks about this, getting the depletion even faster, so she's back in her right mind even faster. And to be fair, Eve doesn't mention anything. She just like realizes it's like one of those visual things where it's like Master Christopher is kind of right. Like she doesn't scream at her master, but she does look at it. Master Christopher is right, Evelyn. Stop talking nonsense. But then she thinks about it and like, wait, he would be an evil adult. So it's kind of like, wait. And she kind of realizes this, but Eve immediately is like, no, no. Evelyn's immediately like, no, no, no. I must have misspot this. Forget what I just said. It's just unnecessary thoughts. So yeah. Anyways, then we have a little bit of a time lapse as we have confirmation of Evelyn's fears and Douglas's fears as well about what will happen to Nicholas if he continues, and that is death. And that's what happened. We also find out that Nicholas hasn't been eating or taking any kind of nutrients at all for weeks now, and has just died from exhaustion and exhaustion. It's just how bodies work. So they have a bit of a funeral for him as we cut to them like getting us back towards that as Christopher says, "Oh, we grieve for the poor Nicholas who tried all of his time and all the energy on making sure that he would get medals, but unfortunately he died before he could achieve this goal. So in honor of him, of his sacrifice, he shall receive 5 medals because at least he died for a good cause." He doesn't say that, but it's basically much what's going on. Like these are basically pity medals. Like he's essentially now making it even people even. It's better to the way Anthony works. Again, it's kind of difficult to rank what Christopher thinks, but the way Anthony thinks is like, oh, the fact that people can get medals if they work themselves to death is gonna make them want to work even more so, and even more people who do not have current capacity to getting with shadow powers and have power to get medals, so they'll work even more on that, which will result in more of them getting exhaustion and ranking below to a point that the only ones who are actually going to be able to get medals are the natural talents like John. So yeah, essentially making this everyone wants medals. Everyone will work as hard as they can for medals or die trying because at least in that they will get medals and be recognized by Christopher. Which I honestly think that Nicholas might have actually had. Okay, I don't want to say that he had like a lot of it, but maybe Nicholas did have at least a bit more than. At least would by most criteria be deserving of one ring, but because it wasn't anything spectacular, Evan might have just kept his mouth shut and left him to die because he might thought that him dying getting 5 medals is gonna convince them all to try even harder. So yeah, Evan is just a sadistic bastard, and now we didn't cut to Evelyn who's just clapping along with this, and she's just thinking like this. They say this, but I fear this was going to happen, and it did happen. As we have Evelyn starting to fall into despair because she didn't want the kid to die. She knew this was going to happen. She knew it, and it happened. So now, when she gets information that that Nicholas Strauss died, and he was just getting medals because he died, just caused her to fall into despair to a point that she's incapable of breathing and starting to cry. As even the what's his name, the one who's kind of Barbara's like right hand man. We at the point even he notices Evelyn's like, Evelyn, what's wrong? As yeah, Avalon is just down. And these are basically the signs of an unfinished failure, and probably and the reason why he's really gonna fail. He doesn't view much of anything of the children. He doesn't think of them as anything more than useful or useless. And the ones who can be useful, he just doesn't care if they die. But that's not going to work to the rest of them because the rest of them don't have this kind of mentality. As far as anyone else is concerned, Anthony is just a evil adult who wants to exhaust them so he could take over and become king of everything. So yeah, it's just about time before he gets his comeuppance at this point. Like, I could even see it. Like I could see Anthony like screaming at everyone saying, "You are useless. You're useless. You are useless. You're nothing without me. I am the chosen. I am the one who deserve it." But anyone just kind of will not listen to him and just beat him down. I could totally see that happening in the future, but it's still a while before we get that, but that's probably where we're heading with this. But anyways, with Shah House out of the way, it's time we talk about some other series titled, and that one is Shy, chapter 134, titled Black Star, which I think is also the name of that organization that spells his mom works at, but whatever. So anyways, we start this fight off with the continuing the battle between uh, Kufufu and Sik with fake Sweta there, as Silk makes like a giant, use a lot of water to make like a giant water kaiju. As Vipasha's mothering instincts kick in, it's like, watch out, Kufufu! This is dangerous. As Kufufu uses her ability, the way traditions call it Alice in Wonderland match ability, where she can like change the size of anything, as we see a couple of examples, and that's what Kufufu does to Pepasha, as she makes her to a giant kaiju, so we can have a kaiju fight. As Kufufu screams, "Fake Sata, use fake ice sponge!" Or use ice sponge, as Pepasha's like, I don't know how to do that. Because Papasha doesn't have like the knowledge of how to use these type of stuff, but she's not as close to well, she doesn't have the same kind of heart connection that Kufu had with Sweta or Shai had with Utsuru. So yeah, but anyways, then Sixer just starts to use the rain and the water around him to make his kaiju even bigger, so they're clearly disadvantaged here. So yeah, anyways, then we have Pilsey, who I think has regained her previous appearance, walking, well, stomping her away from where she was left at in the facility, kind of running away from it, as she is remembering what Shai told Pilsey before she went off to battle Stigma, about that's not who Pilsey is and all that. And yeah, until my long shows up, two pills say, be like, oh, here you are, pills. Are you supposed to tell me where you are? Here is your bracelet. As Pills is a bit surprised to see my long. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is supposed to be a modern, well, a fully grown back Pilser. As Pilser takes the bracelets and puts them on, but as they do that, and before they can talk more, we have Stigma showing up with the other feet that shine in his hands, and she has like a giant cutter onto her stomach. As Stigma is like, "Oh, how cruel! Oh, how cruel you heroes are! That girl just lost her legs, her father, her everything, and now you want to force her to be heroes? Oh, you're such cruel heroes!" Kind of his way of talking, which just angers Mei Long is like, Pilsei, transform quickly, as she tries, but unfortunately in the state that her heart is right now, she's incapable of transforming. Which means it's just Mei Long versus Stigma, as Mei Long goes to fight Stigma, and he goes to kick him away, but and to save Shy first, and then to take Shy to Pelsi to heal her, while he then goes back to fighting Stigma. So yeah, basically, Mei Long has to take uh, the job of fighting named Stigma. She goes there, and then Stigma has like a little joke about May, like, "Oh, you're definitely the sleeping dragon. Just getting hit by your leg, by your kick, made me start to get woozy." Oh. So yeah, Stigma's not taking Mei Long seriously. He can definitely beat Mei Long, and they continue their fight. As it seems like Stigma also wants to focus on getting Mei Long in that kind of state, but he has to do a more direct way than with Spilser, because Spilser was in a vulnerable state. So yeah, anyways, Pelsi then starts to try to use her healing abilities from their bracelets, because I think they don't. I think Pelsi, yeah, I think it was shown that Pelsi's healing abilities that come from her powers can still work even in non-transform state. Just trying to like force that one out, but it's not working. As Shy is starting to regain consciousness, and she did kind of jokes around a bit, trying to cheer Pelsi up about, because with the way that Pilsen talked and the way she was acting at the beginning of the story, like, if you look at Pilsen's behavior throughout just look at the first and the second season of Shy, you don't really take Pilsen as someone who would, like, cry and be like, what, damn it, what? Like, kind of this very baggy kind of sense. So, Pilsen, that's not really the idea that the Pilsen Shy would get from her. I wish Smith tries to stop joking, to take it seriously, but Chai just takes it kind of. It's again like it's more about making Bills feel bad about this. But then we have a bit of a like our, bit of a like going back and kind of giving us Shai's thoughts through Bill's backstory, the one parts that she knows from Pilsey, because Shai, starts talking about the backstory that Pilsey told her about the mountains and how people were insulting her and telling her, making fun of her and all that type of stuff. Which in anime and manga, that's a very real possibility that someone would make comments like that, regardless of how insensitive they are. But Shai is just like, I was thinking back then, be like, who would be awful enough to make fun of you losing your legs and not being able to walk normally again? Like, who would make fun of you for wanting to get your legs back so you could walk and not climb another mountain? Who? What kind of awful person do you have to be to do that? Which there are definitely people like that in manga and anime, but to Shy, that's not really what you'd think. It's it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, you can see anime and manga talking about stuff, having characters like this, but you're like, alright, realistically speaking, no one would do this. Like, like, in the real world, if someone lost their legs and wanted to, like, climb again, you don't think anyone would actually make fun of you. If anything, they would be like, I wish you could again, but unfortunately you can't. Or, they're, like, you're trying to do something to prevent her, if anything else, to do that, because, it would be more dangerous attempting, but it doesn't. It does not work. So Shai doesn't believe. So Shai says it couldn't have been someone saying that. It could just been what you've been telling yourself. Like, it's not that someone was insulting you. You were insulting yourself. You were putting yourself down to make yourself even more determined to climb. Because again, like, it's easier. I think it's easier, like, going against someone, proving someone wrong, than someone just trying to help you in a sense or try to comfort you. So that's why Bill was saying people were looking down on her, even though she herself was the only one that was looking down on herself. And Shai brings up, even so, you had suffered all of this, you still overcame them. You still climbed those mountains. You were still able to reach peaks above everyone else. And Shai even says to her, well, if we get out of this, let's go on a mountain climb together again. So trying to give to reinvigorate Pilsa, to put her back into that mindset, to get that persona back out of her. As then we cut back to the fight between Stigma and Marlon, where Marlon basically states that, oh, he's so overwhelming me that it's like I'm fighting in a way that he wants me to fight. That's how much of a difference of power and skill there is. As then Stigma starts to egg Marlon on about like fight me like a man, or tell me like a man. So kind of going into Marlon's insecurities about, despite being a man, he has like a very feminine appearance, a very cutesy look to him, to a point that people would probably think that he's a girl. But yeah, anyways, as they're saying this, they see the light that's coming from Pilsey trying to transform, as Pilsey's heart has been reintegrated as she's using her ability as she's using her bracelet to transform. Since she's regained her confidence and her heart in a sense, so she's now able to transform, which sucked Stigma and all, and yeah. So next chapter we're going to get Lady Black back in action. So yeah, I'm assuming we're reaching the climax of the fight, or we're approaching the climax of the fight between Stigma and the heroes right now. Yeah, anyways, that's it for Shine. Now it's time to go to a very simple story, which is time for Torture Princess, chapter 251, titled Torture 251. As we start this chapter off with Princess hog-tied, with her eyes covered and her ears covered as well, as Yoko-chan is crying over some weird toys. I believe this is one of those. Let's go back a few minutes. Zone says we have that. So we start this chapter off with Yoko telling Princess that today's game would be like that game of statues, I think it's called, where you take one block off and you put it on top, and then you do this until eventually the tower falls, and the one who caused the tower to fall loses, and the one who didn't win. So I'm playing that game because Inchan has a few errands to run, so Inchan is not present, leaving this game up to just Princess and Yoko. As they start to play this game, and Yako is very confident in his challenge because unlike other games with their very much physical abilities, this one is a lot more like, alright, it doesn't matter how fast you are, the problem is keeping the tower from collapsing. So she thinks that she has a chance because she was very successful in playing this game before, which, to be fair, it is very possible that's the case. But anyways, as they start this game, Princess but not even needing up panels, we have Yuko-chan declaring the game, and then there's already a block on top with one already being removed, with Yoko being like, wait a minute, when did you remove that block? Where did you put it on? How did you do it without even flinching or anything? And Princess just tells her, oh, once you know the center of gravity, it's very easy for you to figure out which ones to remove and where to put them for a safe balancing thing. It's very easy actually. As Yoko-chan thinks it's a bit he starts to panic over Prince being able to do it so easily and so effortlessly, to a point that when she goes for herself to go pick it up, she's actually super nervous about it, so it almost collapses, but it doesn't collapse. So she then starts to no, it's not fair that you're able to see the center of gravity. We have to blindfold you to make it fair. As acts like it's fair for her to not be able to see where the blocks are. But Princess, so she just goes along with it. As Princess moves again super easily where they have to be. As then we have Yoko's again panicking, as then we cut away from the dungeon. Basically, kind of a point of view shot in universe for the beginning of this chapter, with the princess being hog-tied and blindfolded and all that. As we have Torture coming and be like, oh, Yoko is torturing Princess today. I want to see how it. I should probably get a peek to see how the things are going. As she looks at there and she sees that Princess is hog-tied, blindfolded, unable to hear anything. and just in general looks like a lot more like a prop, as Yuko is very much crying, and it just generally looks like it's an actual torture, which is actually what the cops admit, because she sees that scenario happening and she walks to X asking, "Hey X, why is going on here? Why is Yaku having my princess hog tight?" As X explained to her, or at least that's what's assumed to have happened, X explained it to her, as he was like, "Yeah, that happened." As Tojo's like, "Oh, good." For me, I was thinking Yoko's actually torturing Princess there instead of, what we usually do. Which it's fine that they even admit they're not being tortured anymore. I mean, can you even call this torture anymore if the guys themselves admit, alright, this is definitely not torture, but we just want to call it torture because it's better. So, yeah, it's fine they bring this up, but anyways, Yaku then just, as she's crying, she kind of regains enough composure to say, "I admit defeat." Because, Princess is hog-tied, unable to see, unable to hear, and she's still able to remove the blocks and put them up with just breathe, just with her breath alone, like, and it's like, oh, remove and jump, falls onto on that tower, so yeah, Yuko's confidence has been completely destroyed, and it's pretty certain that she lost this game completely. Makes me wonder if there's a point in this game where you are so reducing in everything that there's no way you can even remove. Like what would I mean? You have to keep the. I mean, how as soon as you go into one, as long as it's not the middle, you probably can play this game further, right? If it's just a couple blocks, but regardless, Ben just won this match because again, Yoko underestimated her skill and everything else. So yeah, anyways, after this simplicity, let's go to peakness with 100 girlfriends who really, 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 really love you. Chapter 196 titled Rent Our Families, Sweet Dreams Party. I don't think Yaku and Kahai would really call what they're having sweet dreams, or what many of the girlfriends would call sweet dreams, but whatever you want to call this chapter. So, anyways, we start this chapter off with Rentaro introducing Nemu like he always does, as Nemu is at first also extremely nervous about introducing herself to them, because as she was expecting, the girls, the friends that Rentaro has are very beautiful, so we have a panel of her looking at Mei, Suzuku, and Rin as we get confirmation on where no is in terms of grades, where she's is second year, but she's not in the same class as Rin and Uta because she refers to Rin isn't the Rin, that honor student that's next door, so those two are not in the same class. Still, I feel like Uta and Rin should know one another, or at least be aware of one another, but again, if you just see someone a couple of times, you're not going to think much about it. So maybe the three of them are gonna go from school one day or something. But regardless, Nemo gets really embarrassed about introducing one another about them to the point that she falls asleep and immediately goes greet them excitedly. Like she goes to handshake Kahani quickly. As she snores, guys like, wait, why is this girl? Is this girl asleep or what's going on? As Winter explains that Nemo's the way that Nemo works is that when she falls asleep, her body still moves, so her dreams are basically just whatever her body is doing. So she'll cobble, fall asleep, start operating and doing cobbling and eating bread. As in her dream, she's gonna make shoes and eat bread, which then has her write something down to create them all because she can't tell it's just for communication. So she just so everyone's then we have Kurumi be like, so it's a superpower basically. Now be being operative even when you're asleep. That's so efficient, and Meryl being like such a fairy tale little character. As then Nemo finished writing her thing, and she's like, prettiest beauties, nice to meet you. Basically calling all the girls in Natara's family beauties because that's what they are. They're all 10 out of 10 beauties. which embarrasses all of them. Like we get like prettiest, as we have a group of them embarrassed, and then beauties, and have a group of them embarrassed, which all of them are. And then after this, their introduction, Nemo wakes up, wants to apologize about falling asleep, but then was like, "Oh, it's fine. We're used to this." Honestly, at this point, we're kind of expecting crazy things to happen as soon as we introduce new girlfriends. So you're just normal in this group. As then we have High gained the idea of seeing all the girls in nightgowns. I mean, how having everyone have a slumber party because they're all because them like sleeping. They're still not the nightgowns part. Probably two pictures of them all changing into nightgowns, but whatever. Ignore the cameras. They are extremely focused on you changing into your nightgowns, girls. Ignore them. But anyways, they change into their nightgown. They decide to have a slumber party with Kusuri making like a drug that would put them all to sleep. So they'll have nice dreams, all that. So they go to a highest place. I guess it's over the school. It's said to be midday, so I'm going to have to assume it's over at school, which I guess confirms at least that where these hangouts take place, it's after class. Because like sometimes you have to wonder, like, okay, are they hanging out before class or they hang out during lunchtime? Are they just like, are the characters in the? I mean, is Rento's family like? Are they spending the entire days on this on the rooftop and no one questions it? But it seems to me at least implied this time that they are all here when they're after school because they all kind of go there. So yeah, pretty much after school. Again, it's kind of difficult to say exactly when just hang out with one another, regardless, they have their session, they have this, and they go to take a nap. Unfortunately to Kusuri, because of how her drugs operate, there's something going wrong with that, and instead of having dreams, they have nightmares because that drug that even Kusuri was not expecting gave everyone nightmares, and now they have a nightmare party, except Nemu, because again, she operates when she's asleep. So all she's doing happening to her is like she's talking in sleep with them all being asleep. Makes me wonder again if she's going to have a volume dedicated to herself, or if she's going to be separate because like it's kind of similar logic as Kusuri's adult and child form. But again, wait, what number is Kusuri? Okay, if I remember correctly, 31 should be still with. Okay, it's 30 and 31 should be on a cover together, but I think Saki is 31 or is she 30? I think she might be. I want to say she's 30 and Nemo is 31, which would mean that we have to skip Nemo and get to Saki, or we have to skip Saki and get into Nemo, but whatever. We'll figure this out later. Or once we get to volume we are now with Tama and we're now with Tama and we just got Tama and Eri, meaning the next one is gonna be Kiki and Maru with then nah, with then Kiki and Matsuri with Asa and Maru, and then it's Saki and now Nemu. Yeah, I think that's how this. Yeah, I think I got the numbers correctly there. So yeah, then we have everyone's nightmares, and we see that everyone's having kind of the same nightmare with all the girls dreaming about Renta dying, and then all right, so these nightmares are kind of like some are comical, but some are very sad. I mean, okay, we just have like we can basically go into a tier list about which some girlfriends have. Like we have there's girls like Chio who just has like a "Ee." But then you also have like some of the sadder ones like Etu who's like you're going on a journey without me. Like she talks like this, but it's like what basically saying is he's going away from her. We have Namu Nanabi like life without you is meaningless. We have Suzuko saying something from a book that she's been reading. We didn't get to we have Nadi's broken English. Then we have like some of the then we also have like some of the truly depressing ones like Hahari and Yaku, who are, no, Rento, not you two, don't leave me as well. As Yaku is then like, I'm alone once again. I'm once again alone. And so we have Saki's like, don't you dare you leave, how dare you leave your senpai behind, Kohai? How dare you leave this world before me? And then we also get like Sue's reaction, who's that's just basically like, yeah, stop playing a one, please. Just come back to me. You don't have to keep playing, posing as a one, because like laying, standing straight is a one, because that's how. Not Sue is, which we didn't get like an entire intercation between guys during this whole time. Nam was trying to awaken them all up, because we have like Sue imagining the way it's talked about is like, or we get some like visual ideas with some of the girlfriends are in this. Like we have like some who just feels like they're crying, but then we have like ones who clearly are doing some actions. Like Kurumi and Momoha are eating and drinking their share. Like Kurumi is complaining about the food not tasting well, so I mean that she's in the buffet just shoving everything down her throat, but none of it has any work. We have Momoa just drinking booze, be like, I need more booze, bring me more booze. So yeah. We also have Karane being a tsundere, being like, it's not like I'm gonna be lonely without you. Then we get the Yuri one with Mai being like, if you're a dad, then the only one I can marry is my sister. So yeah, they are all just in despair. But anyway, Sue's one, like I was talking, is basically the way it's talked about makes it sound like she's on Rento's corpse or in the casket, like, come back to me, stop playing a one, while the priest is trying to calm her down as she's like starting to slap her, be like, I'll slap some sense into you. But he's like, that's not gonna work. And then she's just starts screaming, Akko, do that thing, being like, go away, pain. So, yeah. And during this whole thing, we have like Nemu trying to wake them up. Like, we have Nemu trying to like shake them awake, trying to open eyes awake, throwing buckets of water to wake them up, but all of that does to Momoka is making her drink water, implying that she would even drink from the ground alcohol on the funeral. Then we have her also doing like a wrestler move with with Ito. Also, yeah, Ito and Rain have like, because of their desire for pain, you kind of want to know what kind of reactions they would have, and Rain is basically like, this is not multi-violento. As Rain is like, this much pain is too much to deal with. As then we also have we also then have Yaname, who has like the circle of life kind of mentality, but she's more in denial of it being a bad thing, kind of similar to like Meme, whose mentality, if Rento dies, is basically, I'll make hundreds of Rento dolls! So many Rento dolls! So she's at the denial stage. As Mai is just being like, if it's required, I will sell all my organs to give Rento the most luxurious coffin casket impossible. So Mai would literally mutilate herself for Rento, obviously. Don't worry, man. I'm pretty sure that Hai will not spare no expense on Rento's funeral. We also have a few other ones who are just like like Hakai, who's just like, I am bone dry. Matsuri, who's like, this festival is no fun. We have like that. As then we have Nemo looking at Renta, like, what is he dreaming of if they're dreaming about their deaths? As Renta's nightmare can basically be described as all the our girlfriends dying, even the ones who he hasn't met yet. As then we have him, oh, this is a bad end. Like kind of similar mentality as Mero, because Mero was like, is this the end of the Rento family fairy tale? This is so just, there's nothing but depression here. As Rento's has like a sentimental, like, if all my girlfriends die, then I am going back, then I'm going to the Komura's place and killing him, and then rewriting the 100 Girlfriends manga to get my ending that we would deserve. And if Shueisha gets in the way, I'll obliterate them to microscopic scales, but not Nakamura, but not Zawa. I need her for art. So, interdimensional multiversal level? I don't know, like, we've seen Rento going to Suecia before, and we had Rento meet Nozawa. So, is he able to do that? I mean, even, and, I mean, at this point, Rento can essentially be one of those characters who has so much Toon Force on his side that he could probably one-shot half the universe. Rento versus Goku? Rentaro wins. Rentaro versus Saitama, Rentaro wins. Any OP character, Rentaro wins. But yeah, anyways, Namo as she hears Rentaro's dreams, she's like, and she has an idea, and she then lines up all of the girlfriends in a line, and she then drags Rentaro across their faces so they can all have their have kiss one another, so they'll have pleasant dreams with everyone. As we save the day with Zezophone and the grandpa being exhausted from all this work. As then we have uh, everyone be like, "Oh, I had such a crazy dream, and you were all there." But everyone be like, "Yeah, you were also there in Nemo in our dreams." So, yeah, that's it for this little chapter. It was a very fun kind of introduction chapter. It works really well with characters and all that. And a very depressing chapter when you look at the meaning of some of these statements, like Momoha and Kurumi drowning themselves in food and alcohol. Oh my god, man, Kurumi probably did take some alcohol. Now that I think about this kind of description, the fact that two of them were probably together and she'll probably just be mindlessly putting stuff in her mouth. Not Mime going to a delusional state where she's just surrounded by rental dolls. Hahai and Yaku being depressed because once again their lover has left them. Yeah, that this chapter is definitely an unexpected deep chapter. But anyways, enough with slice of life stuff. It's time to talk about some action with Four Knights of the Apocalypse, chapter 169, titled Donnie versus Mystery Package. This is not a false chapter title, but I would just name it something like Mystery Package Dominates Donnie, but whatever. So yeah, we start this chapter off with Percival being announced the winner because Gareth surrendered. Well, technically, was it Gareth? Gareth's brother saying, Gareth surrendered. He surrendered. Like but and I'm counting. So yeah, the surrender is working, and yeah, Gareth is unconscious still. With Gareth, it is very depressing scene when we have Gareth's brother trying to like shake him awake, trying to do anything. But the thing is, again, he's a ghost. He can't really do much. He may not be damaged and touch anything. He needs the blade to do that. But the issue now is he can also help when he needs. Like he can't hold Gareth to comfort him. He can't carry Gareth. He can't do shit. All he can do is like pace through it. And I don't think he's about to cry, but he's very depressed after this. Like, honestly, he can't do anything. He's still, by all accounts, he is his brother. This isn't like Jade, who was just an illusion made from their memories. Gareth is, well, I think it was Gareth, is full, his mind and is the soul of his brother, so he can't do anything. But anyways, Percival comes and picks up Gareth, puts him on his shoulder, and he's like, well, if you don't mind, I'm taking him. As his brother's like, wait, jump, Gareth. As Percival's just casually like, oh yeah, sorry, but well, I have to take him out. I mean, the next round's gonna start. We're getting delayed just because he's there. And besides, I have to fulfill my promise. So bye bye. So yeah, I'll just take him out to recover. La 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 la. As we see Percival being very chill, not even caring, not even remotely. As he then, as the ball is just like, it's not like I can do anything. I guess. As he's kind of shocked by how emotionless Percival is. Basically, Gareth saw his death. He saw death holding him and killing him, to the point of falling unconscious. And Gareth was Gareth being so worried that he was like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" To the point that he just surrendered, and that looks to be the more bloodlust in one of the family. Like the fact that he is the one who was so worried that to call out the game says miles for how horrified he was or what happened to Gareth. So yeah, anyways, as Percival is leaving the arena, we have him be confronted by Nauseance and Percival, or Nauseance and Anne. And it turns out my suspicion about Percival's behavior was that because they straight up called out to it. Like they mentioned, what did you do to him? Why did you show him? What did the technique do? What the hell was that? As Nauseance remembers the technique that Percival used on Waldane because it's the same one, and asks, is this the same thing used on her? As Percival's like, yeah, it's the same one I used on her. Yeah, I thought that I couldn't beat Gareth without it because it would then take too much power and that could risk him actually getting some serious injuries. So I thought it was better to just use that technique and whoop and win. It's the most simplistic and minimalist damage. As Nauseance is like, he doesn't freak out like Annie's freaking out in it from seeing this, but he was like, as they like Anne's freaking out, but I was like, wait, no, calm down, Anne. It's obvious that Percival shot down before it actually took the life. I mean, look at him, he's alive. As Percival was like, oh no, I didn't deactivate it. You see, the way this ability works is that if the person doesn't truly, in the bottom of their hearts, wants to live, then it cannot operate. Like, well, then it worked because of this implies that Waldane is suicidal to at least in the bottom of her heart, but that's besides the point. We'll maybe the probably the same side that's been refusing Ironside's. I don't know. We need Ironside as our we need Ironside or Palgard to test this ability out, but regardless, seems to be some implication that the two of them probably don't work as well. Just their side would probably not want to die, but whatever. Well, they may be suicidal. We'll see where that goes in the future, but that's just the implication we're kind of getting this chapter. But anyway, it says that, oh yeah, if the person doesn't truly value their life, or doesn't want to die, then it's not going to work. It was just a mental thing. It's not operational at all. So, first of all, at least I think so. That's what they implied, unless that thing was actually a lot more visually accurate than it actually was. But I don't think so. So yeah, Gareth. And he's still freaking out. So yeah, he's straight up saying this. And throughout this entire conversation, first of all, he's like super chill about it. Like he doesn't act as if he just used this super deadly technique against some random. Because like, alright, this has now also started a little bit about this debate about like why are they angry at this? They're kind of hypocritical because like in the previous chapters or the demon arc chapters, they were pissed off at Percival for having this very childish view, but here he's like using some really fucked up abilities against randoms. Like why it's hypocritical, they shouldn't be doing it. What else do they pick? Yeah, I think the thing we have to realize is that while characters like Nauseance and Anne may say that he needs to, be more serious or needs to, take these actions more seriously, he has to be less kind or that your kindness is gonna be a problem. While they may say that, they don't want Percival to be that 24/7. Like, Battlefield is fine, but against people like Gareth who has nothing to do with this, that's kind of an issue. Like, does Gareth really need to see himself die by the Grim Reaper's hands? Like, alright, Waldane is fine, Ironside is fine, Beltrapa fine, Arthur fine, Gareth, A kid who's literally lived his entire life in this dungeon. That's extreme. Even if the spell was, even if the Geralt has like a very quick victory, no shitting kind of fighting style. But regardless, the characters. Percival again doesn't see it. I don't know if it's meant to be more of like a he doesn't understand the issue because he knows people a bit better. Like he knew Geralt wasn't going to wish to die. That's exactly. I mean, he pretty much confirmed that when he said, "I don't want to associate myself with you because I can sense the misery of death around. I can smell the misery of death around you." So he could pretty much figure that Geralt doesn't want to die, so he would survive this. But still. Anyways, then the person will just tell them, "Oh, but besides, I promise Gareth once we win this that I'll take them outside. I'll bring them with us to escape this dungeon." So, anyways, I need time to recover. La 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 la. As Percival just drops Gareth into the hospital wherever he's dropping him off. As again, like Percival's personality has now been clear problem, and now they're noticing it, and are probably going to have a bit of a discussion about it later. Again, it's more of a everyday problem. Also, remember, it'd be one thing if Percival at least like looked conflicted or had an issue with his ability, or just viewed it as a necessity. But the way how chill he is about it, like the way how casual he is, that is kind of the kill for that. Anyways, with this little Percival's behavior out of the way, we can go back to what this chapter's named after, and that's Donnie versus Mystery Package, or setting up Mystery Package's opponent. So anyways, we first have Adlan praying that Donnie loses, so he will be, able to get some dignity. Because, he may have failed, at least, at least Donnie also failed. With Boris being like, I think you already lost that dignity long before this. As then we have Donnie going again, says he's also like, oh, great job, Percival, you did well, deal with him, no stitch. I'll make sure to win next time, and we'll, in this my round as well, so we'll see ourselves in round 5, since, that's the, so since if he wins, he'll be fighting Percival, which gotta give Donnie credit, at least he's kinda looking proud to fight Percival, so kinda nice character development moment. As then we have Mystery Package and Donnie beginning to start the fighting. As Donnie, we get a like pre-fight ramble with Donnie be like, wow, this guy looks like a wimp. Like, this guy's so tiny, and it's probably not gonna be that difficult to beat him. How should I really start this out to make like a big showing? As Adler hopes that Mr. Package beats him, while Houseman's just looking at his nephew is like, oh, I can already tell he's underestimating his opponent, huh? He's judging the book by its cover, huh? Yeah, I can already see it. I already can see that idiot doing that. Oh, that dumbass nephew of mine, I'm beating the shit off him after this. And that's what's gonna be happening. So, anyways, Donnie does this, and then first he, as the fight starts, he first wants to kind of like do like a little mocking punching at Mr. Meg. Alright, are you ready here, baby? As then Mystery Package starts to, he grabs his shirt and then he like starts going, oh, there's no way we could have this described without having this kind of moment. So as he goes underneath his shirt, as Knife thinks, oh, are you the Joey Prison pants or something? Because again, Knife thinks he's a wimp. But anyways, Mystery Package pulls out the sword as he then like with his slice. But when Donnie knows the sword, he's kind of like what the hell? Because Donnie doesn't have weapons right now on himself because actually, why doesn't Donnie have a weapon on him? So, like, didn't he also have, like, a shield? I mean, I guess it's still a fist fight, but still, it's kind of weird. I mean, why do these guys not have their old-style weapons with themselves right now? I mean, it's not like that for... No, wait, no. They're allowed to have weapons, are they? Yeah, I mean, yeah. Gareth and his brother both had swords. Even if the soul sword came from spiritual or something, he would still be allowed to have a sword. And I was bringing up Mystery Package having a sword, so clearly having swords is weapons is allowed. I don't really know why they don't have weapons with them. But regardless, this Donnie gets with that fight first, but he's like, oh, hey, it's fine. But anyways, Donnie then goes for like, oh, you barely are able to swing it, so I can go with my muscle dynamite punch as he goes to punch him, but then it's clear been a fake out, which everyone could kind of tell that was a fake out, because immediately after Donnie goes to punch him, the Mr. Packer just goes immediately to swinging it, and that scares Donnie. Like, oh my god, this is actually like all fours. Like, oh my god, this guy's messing with me clearly. As Anne is insulting him, being, oh, well, whim, he can dodge those attacks. As Nazi and Snorres, seems like those attacks are getting faster and faster with every swing, kind of showing that Mr. is showing more of a power than he's displaying. As then Don is, alright, enough of this joke. So I was just trying to think this is going to be easy, but now I'm going to actually use my power as Don uses his telekinesis to rip stones from the ground and send it at the mystery package. As the announcer says, why didn't he start out with this? Both him and the house are both thinking he should just start out with this attack. As though I just thought, oh, shut up, I was thinking about it, but then I got distracted by this guy's weirdness with the sword and all that. So, anyways, he sends that at Mystery Package, and it first connects, but then it's revealed that Mystery Package also, before he got hit, he actually pulled another thing out, as he pulled out a shield that other people have been comparing uh, to Dobry as uh, a shield that he used in the Cursed by Light movie. I know that's the same one, but it could be like have similar properties. It's honestly hard to really know what's going on with Mr. Package right now. So as that shield is like blocking all the rubble, he then sends it at Donnie to knock him out as he falls off the arena, but he just grabs it to a side, be like, I'm not going on this quickly. As he's like trying to get up, as then mystery package appears above him, as mystery package says, oh, don't worry, your fans are gonna be so thankful to you. That could be interpreted in a lot of ways, as in the mystery package kind of gives his hand to Donnie to like, well, anyone thinks he's giving his hand to be like, oh, a fair competitor is helping his other fair competitor to come back so they can have a fair fight, which the announcer says it's BS or wants to compare, hates, is one of those people that hates this kind of stuff. But but Donnie doesn't think that's what's, well, that's not what's going on. As Donnie thinks that, oh, this guy's so nice, the fact that he was gonna help in this kind of situation. But in reality, the mystery package, I don't know if he put a glove or has some kind of magic, but regardless, he had something where when Donnie grabbed his hand, he started freezing over. So when Percival came by putting Gareth down and come back to see how the fight is going, the fight was already over, Donnie being already frozen over by this ice. As Mystery Package is announced the winner, he's moving Donnie back to get unfrozen or something. So it was a very comedic fight. I'm not surprised that Donnie lost, but it does kind of feel like we are kind of getting a sort of, Donnie kind of deserves a better fight. More respect, more dignity to this fight because this is very much a humiliating fight for Donnie. But whatever, I guess it makes Kid's character a bit more fun, more like, again, more relatable because he's more normal than all of our other characters are. But regardless, Donnie lost to Mr. Packard as we all expected. But what we did expect is how all over and random Mr. Package is as our opponent, because we all kind of unanimously decided that Mystery Package was going to be Gopher. It would make sense, it's completely hidden, it's Mystery Package, and makes sense. But now, with this like weird technique of pulling random shit out of his body and eyes, there is now a bit more of a debate on what he is. Honestly, a lot of people comparing him to Sam from Trick or Treat, where we like got our first images of the guy. But I'm not wondering if he might actually be like something like that. I mean, isn't Sam from Trick or Treat supposed to be like some kind of mythical fairy type of creature? Because right now I could totally see Mr. Package being that. I mean, to be fair, it's still possible that it's Gopher. I mean, he had like weird line about how his fans are gonna be grateful to him, but I don't know. It's like weird. Like again, it's kind of weird to say who Mystery Package is after this chapter because Mystery Package abilities are so. Gopher doesn't really scream. Jericho's also not in myself phone in because of the ice magic, but I don't think Jericho ever like pulled random shit off her bra, off her boobs, if you know what I mean. So I really don't think it's her. Neither do I think. Also, she's Mr. Pegasus is a very tiny individual, so it can't be her because again, like I don't think we haven't seen like a good like. I mean, the closest thing to a size comparison was Gilda to Chia and Jade, but I think again that's and Jericho and Gilda are about the same size. But still, Jericho is kind of like a little big is too big to be that, while this guy seems to be like a child. Like we even get a bit of a size comparison between Donnie and Mystery Package, where we have him like while he's carrying Donnie, we can see that this guy is barely about. I think he's like just at Donnie's waist, like. His Donnie's upper half is literally bigger than the entire is too big is double he's basically double the size of Mr. Packet. So clearly Mr. Packet's someone very tiny, but what he is, we don't know yet. We know he's not someone who compared last year, but we're gonna have to wait and see that front. But anyways, that's it for Fairy Tail. Is not well for Nights. We then move on to Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest with chapter 172 titled Size versus Six Showdown, which is basically just 6 versus 6 battle. It's just the old versus new Orakion 6, but whatever. So we start this chapter off with, basically the Orakion groups confronting, staring each other down. As it's like, oh, who is that cloaked figure? It's just everyone else I'm get, but you I don't get. As it's revealed that this cloaked figure is indeed Meredy, as she like reveals this herself, the former member of the crime sorcery, Meredy. As time to cue the jokes about why did you hide yourself? It's to be dramatic. I mean, I get the idea. It's probably because it would be a better like setup for this chapter because you have like the two Orochian groups fighting each other, and Meredy isn't really a part of that. So it makes sense that they'll try to have her be its own thing, but it kind of feels off because why is she so cloaked for no reason? If she's just going to like that's the thing. She removes the cloak completely. Like she has a completely new outfit, a more fan servicey outfit because I think you can even see her bra and everything, which honestly her bra seems a bit more offensive. You know what I mean? But whatever. She removes the cloak and she's there to fight with them. As then we get immediately very disappointing information because apparently the reason why they're all there is simply because Melody did some looking into stuff and she found out about all this, so she regrouped us and had us come here so we can fight. Questions about the timeline, since all this stuff I feel like has only been revealed a couple of days ago, to even to Fairy Tail memos of her finding out about the whole Ferris, the Archean Six, the Zero being revived and being a part of them, like all that stuff. I question why, how she managed to find this and why she decided to recruit all of them, but whatever, she did, and now they are gonna be fighting the Orochi. Now we're gonna have a fight of the Orochian Six. So yeah, again, I kind of question why, how, but alright, maybe it's gonna be revealed later again, but delve more into that. I mean, this honestly kind of gives me like an extra chapter type of vibe. Like you explain everything this out and calling everyone. I mean, there are separate reactions towards it. Like so, I'll be like, I'm a member of Sabretooth right now. I can't be doing stuff like this. No, you're doing it. You're doing it. I'm not really into guild stuff after that. That whole experience with Fair, they're gonna ruin my vibe. Now you're going, but whatever. So as they're saying this, we then have a bit of a discussion. Well, we have a bit of a talk with like Macbeth telling, "Oh, father, how long are you still going to be obsessed with the with six? Because Arakan six and the other group is Arakan six. So yeah." As then Zero just starts figuring like, it doesn't matter, I will reduce you all to zero. As then we have the Ham attacking, and then we have Meredy, well, no, we have Hot Eye using his ability to like disorientate Orochian Six. Then we have, I think, Cobra screaming at, as then we have like a little like little counterattacks by Orochian or the original Orochian groups. Like we have Cobra pulling Blade outside. We have right before this. I should also mention we have members of one of the old Rockans telling Ezra to go to Dramil to save the people that it's in trouble, so she should go there while they fight the new Rokian 6. So she agrees, so she goes there, but then Bird, the one with the bird mask, he's like, oh, I'll go. Oh, I'm not going to let you, but unfortunately for Bird, Racer just goes and kicks him. As we have like matchup style, we have Bird versus Racer, we have Cobra versus Blade, we have Angel versus Melty, which one and all, but I don't think we've even seen Melty using her ability yet. We then have Melody versus Gate, and we have Kotai versus Gaia, as we have Macbeth versus Zero, as we have these fights setting up, as Ezra goes, that Bird wants to interrupt her again, but Racer again kicks him. So, yeah, as it just goes to Jamil. We'll talk about their fights and how I think they're gonna fall later, but right now we're going away from this to go to Natsu Happy and Fortune talking, as Natsu apologizes to Fortune because I mean, we were enemies second, so you can't expect me to immediately when I see you to think, oh, you're no longer enemies. There has to be like some level of fighting thing. As Happy's like, oh, you should apologize. Oh, you shouldn't just accept things so quickly, and all that. Their little shtick as Fortune is like, fine. I guess I'm happy being kind of like, being pissed about the whole kick and all that type of stuff. She's willing to help and all that. But anyways, they eventually win her over as there's a little joke about Fortune being a fire cat, not she kind of Stacy to not to want to eat her, but they are able to calm his hunger down. As not to ask Fortune, look, my bro Igna wants to destroy humanity, and we need to stop him. So please tell me where he is and all that. And as he was asking Bran about that, but Fortune just tells Natsu she doesn't know where Igna is. He said he was going after the Dark Wizard Ferris, but he used his nose to go after her. As Natsu's like, oh, his nose! That's right! And then Natsu starts trying to sniff him out as well, or Ferris will want to. He's probably Ignel, as he has, uh, Fortune's like, wait a minute, but he's not drunk. Why would he be able to sniff out as Napi tells Fortune? Oh, Natsu's nose is like crazy good. He'll be able to sniff out his bar quickly. As Natsu's like, there, sniff him out. He's in Drumeel. So, yeah, where Ezra is right now. And I'm assuming Ferris is there as well because he was going after Ferris. And Ferris, or if they are going after Ferris and Ignia is now in Jamil, yeah, we're going to have Ignia versus Ezra. Okay, now this is actually a good thing because when it comes to like main villains or big villains like Ignial and Ferris, Mashal doesn't really want to give those victories to Ezra much, or at least if he does give them, they're more minimalistic to like usual characters. Like he'll give Ezra as crazy opponents as possible, but they're all going to always be weaker than the main antagonist to a point that she will, even if she gets some W's against them, like Joel in the Tower of Heaven arc, she will ultimately still lose to him. So it's kind of a similar thing here where I don't think she's gonna fight and beat Igna. She's probably just going to get her ass beaten by him or Ferris or one of the two. Probably Ferris because we haven't actually seen her capabilities that much, but whatever. We're gonna have Ezra Igna, and Ferris in the same area. At least that's what I'm assuming is happening because again, like he's going after Ferris, but I mean, as if he mistook Ferris for demons, because I think it was like set up that Ferris's demons were going to go upward and going to go separate from her, but who really knows? But regardless, we have right now we are kind of hinting at a three-way battle between Ezra, Igna, and Ferris, while the Orakian 6 groups fight amongst each other. Which I guess I should say something about those fights. Which Look, I don't want to disrespect respect Orochian 6, which is something when the captains start talk, because when like they pick their opponents, they mention something like, "Don't underestimate the Orochian 6. We can handle you," and there has like little jabs at each other, like melt. He says, "Oh, I'll melt you," and he's like, "Oh, I am fired up. I haven't been this fired up in ages," and all that type of stuff. So clearly, like they are had like this kind of thing, but we don't really know about the two groups much. And to be fair, Arkansas State is kind of like the thing is, Arkansas State has been a group that's been in its story so long, and we haven't really like got any like updates that would make that would make us want to rank them higher. So having them show up and being like big fights against these Orochi and six demons is kind of a weird thing. So off screening, like I don't want to say they're gonna off screen the fights like they did with August and the Crime Sorcery in the Alvaros arc, but I have a really hard time seeing them lose or the demons losing to the old generation. Like what was the point of bringing off reviving Alderaan only to have him off screen by the demons, only so the demons can off screen the Orokia members. And also, if they old Orokia members beat the demons, I guess maybe it's gonna be like one of those things where like they beat it up on, but they get power ups from powers or something. But that's kind of like a lazy cop out, especially since you already put them above the stronger dragon god than the one that the Fairy Tail Guild defeated. So it's kind of a weird thing, but whatever. But yeah, that's kind of what the thing is. I don't see the old Orochian 6 winning, but if they do, it will be kind of a weird thing because that will kind of ruin the whole thing. But I don't know. We're gonna have to see how the fights are gonna unfold. Like, even if the old Orochian 6 loses, at least give them like proper fights or a chapter or two to lose in a respectable manner. But anyways, we're gonna have to see how this fight unfolds, and yeah. Anyway, so that's it for Fairy Tail. So now it's time that we talk about One Piece, chapter 1131, titled Loki in the Underworld. Isn't Hera the underworld of the Norse mythology? Or am I just remembering my Norse mythology underworld deities? Who cares? Anyways, we start this chapter off with Luffy and Loki talking with one another. As first, Luffy is just out loud being, "Yay! I'm in Albaf! How great! Oh, I wonder if Usopp will real. No, we are finally here. I've been waiting here for ages. Oh, I wonder if how Usopp is going to act once he learns about this. So we're going to tell him." And completely like ignoring the fact that he's talking to Loki here, this giant who's like chained up and all that. As Loki wants to get his attention, but it's not working with Luffy because once he gets into his own little head thing, he kind of ignores what everyone else is saying. So it's not until Loki starts screaming, hey, you idiot! I'm talking to you, so pay attention to me, you buffoon!" As Loki wants to offer Luffy a deal. Listen, I am the sun god Loki and the rightful king of Albath. But the thing is, I'm kind of restrained here. While I could break off these normal chains, these chains that are holding me are deep sea prison stones. So I cannot break out of them. So I need someone to get the key and unlock me. It should be in the Alba village. It should be in the Alba village. So I need you to go get that for me. No, I will. Now, since you're a pirate, probably want someone. You have a pirate crew that you want to destroy it. I will destroy that pirate crew for you without any issue. Just pick your plot. Just get me out of this. Which Loki is not immediately jumping for this, but no, Luffy's not immediately jumping for this. Also, there's a little like joke about like uh Loki also not remember. Well, I don't say he doesn't remember Luffy's name, but it's more like he just calls him Rudy. Like kind of how rude it is that Luffy's focusing on him and talking to him. But yeah, anyways, Loki and Loki starts. So yeah, anyways, after this, Loki starts to explain the nature of the deal. Like he'll do this favor for him, that he'll be able to for him, so he'll be able to get all these chains. And as a threat, or like not a threat, because like he calls for some of his minions and friends, which are just giant animals that are found on Elbaf, saying, "Oh, these friends of mine, this area that I'm in right now is super dangerous. Like this is the execution area. This is where we throw the worst of the worst giants to be killed, basically. So if you want, get off here, you're going to need my help to begin with. So just promise me to get the key, and so I can get off here. I will destroy one parkour, and you'll be able to leave here." There's also like a little. There's also like besides the giant animals, there's also like a little group of humans who are kind of Loki subordinates in a sense, as Loki says, "Oh, these are the pirates that try to come to Albaf and steal stuff and all by that, but they just got stuck here. So now the best they can do is cover themselves in animal fur and survive. Because quite frankly, I'm surprised they haven't cooked yet. I'm honestly expecting them to cook at some point with some of them." With some of the guys, they are like, "Oh, Master Loki, that's so mean of you." I mean, we've already got our scare share with Shanks last time with his Conqueror's Hawk and being as a Conqueror for a good while. We don't need to be aware of that. As then, while they turned away and talked with Loki, we revealed that Luffy in the meantime was befriending the giant animals that are that was summoned by Loki. As like, "Shook, what, you already befriending them and all that?" As then Loki, well, basically starts spilling facts on all of us with him saying, red hair head Shanks," because because those guys mentioned Shanks, and Luffy says, "Oh, do you guys know him?" But Loki's a little bit smarter than the majority of the people here, so he says, "Shanks, that fucking coward, he's a piece of shit." Well, he doesn't call him piece of shit, but if I was there, I would probably start insulting Shanks a lot. And anyways, Loki starts insulting Shanks, but as Loki starts insulting Shanks, well, I was insulting, but he's more just spilling facts on Shanks. As then Luffy just starts getting super angry. I'm talking, turns gear 4, and starts going to attack Loki, being like, "Don't you dare shit talk Shanks!" Even though that's what Shanks deserves. Even more shit talk if you ask me personally, but whatever. Luffy wants to defend Shanks despite not deserving to, but whatever. Kind of funny how the whole message in Lockdown was that, oh, you don't need to fight, not necessarily fight, Luffy's trying to pick a fight with someone who can't even fight back just because he shit talks Shanks, the guy who, let's be honest, so deserves shit talking more than anyone else. I mean, I guess he's in contention with Jacket, but well, the two of them deserve shit talking regardless. So yeah, anyways, Loki then gets kind of scared of this, so he has, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was joking about Shanks being a pathetic coward that doesn't deserve to live." He doesn't, but he just says it so Luffy will come down so they can go on the negotiations center. As Loki was saying, "I can't fight you back. I mean, if you punch me, you just punch me. I mean, I'm not able to escape." And all, I mean, the most I can really do is like dodge like this with my hat, but that's it. But anyways, Luffy tells him, "Oh, even as a joke, you can't shit talk Shanks in front of me." But anyways, then they go back to their discussion about the deal and all that. Luffy getting out of this, well, Loki getting out of the restraints thanks to Luffy getting the key and all that. But we don't get to see if Luffy is going for the key or not. But anyways, as we're coming away from this, we then go to Zoro's team as they're running on the bridge. As they look behind them, they saw Road and the rest of the Hyrujan Band, the Gert and Goldberg. As they see this and be like, "Hey, that one is smoking like he was hit by lightning. That's probably the guy that was the giant that was dressed up as that weird in that weird gallop." That as they are seeing, they're pretty much able to put the pieces together that is Road and Sun God are the same thing. What with the other two. Now, I'm going to assume the way how this visually went by was that while Gert and Goldberg were looking for Road, they found the Thousand Sunny, or saw the ship, recognized, "Wait, isn't this Frankie of the Shrouded Pirates?" Because, there was that, like, wanted poster where she had this Thousand Sunny's muscle as Frankie's wanted poster. But, wait, is this Shrouded Louis? Is that Shrouded Frankie? What the hell is Shrouded Frankie doing. Wait, you don't think the Road would actually imprison in his wheelie world the Straw Hat Pies, right? Oh, he would. He's a disgrace. Fucking where's Road? As in Road was probably right as he was like probably throwing his Sun God cosplay on. They're like, Straws, I'll get you for this. As then they're like, oh, he did. Grab. He's chasing after the old Straw Hats. Grab Straw Hat Frankie and chase after him. You fucking idiot. So Rhodes started chasing after the Straw Hats while Goldberg and Gerd started chasing after him. So I'm assuming when they caught up to themselves, we're gonna have like Goldberg, well, have Gerd like slamming her battle axe on Raw. You fucking moron! We serve these guys, you moronic buffoon! And then it's probably gonna be how they resolve this whole situation and all that. But anyways, that's what's going on right now. We have those guys having a little hijinks before they reunite and realize that Road is an idiot, and that's why they're all on the same side. But anyways, as we now with the confirmation that all the now that we have 3 of the new John Warrior Pirates being doing their stuff, we cut to their lead captain, and I think the current king of Albav, Haruden, as we see him, and Stanson killing like a giant moose from I'm assuming the underworld section, because they mentioned like the underworld the monsters animals like the biggest and the most difficult to deal with, so I'm assuming that's where they are. I'm also assuming like Luffy's gonna meet them up with them or something, but I don't really know. And who knows, maybe Luffy's gonna reunite with Haruden, and that's how we gotta be progressing the whole thing. But anyways, Haruden defeated this giant moose. Is there now? That's like, all right, but how are we going to take this giant moose to the village? As Harry's like, be a man and grab this moose and carry it to the giant village. This is moose is the least we can do for a short stuff. They are arriving soon anyway, so let's go. As Haruden and Shanson grab this giant moose, then carry it to their village. They're probably gonna meet, which I'm assuming they are setting this up, so they're gonna have a meeting with Luffy. Hopefully Luffy is gonna find out, and hopefully Harry's gonna reveal to Luffy what about Loki and all that thing, to not have him break him out. Although Luffy might actually break him out even more because of that. But regardless. But anyways, as we call away from Maruda, we then call to the old giant warriors pirate ship, as we have Captain Brooke talking about, oh, I hope this is fine, Robin. You see, I'm not. This is the first time I'm doing a woman's hair, so I'm a little nervous. I hope it's fine. As Robin is like, no, as well, there's like a little joke with Frank Brooke having no heart, but Luffy solidifying is, oh, you're so unscientific. As Bonnie's like, yeah, you look so pretty with that hairstyle, Robin. It's kind of funny how Joey Bonnie is now. I guess because she doesn't need to force herself to be an adult, and that's the reason why Joey Bonnie is now permanently a child. But it's kind of like a little weird how child she's staying for right now. I guess maybe because it's like a calm period. But anyways, but anyways, everyone's kind of like super happy about the hairstyle, because they're like, oh, this is the hairstyle that you had. I think it's Dorian Broggy, the ones who mentioned this. Oh, this is the hairstyle you had when you when you were a child with Saul. I see. So you're making this. As I was like, yes, I thought it would be best if I have a hairstyle that would be a bit more recognizable, since it's been a while. Like I haven't seen him since childhood. At least the hairstyle might trigger to the memory, so make him think so. As the 2 guys who were Oima and Kashi, the 2 giants who were on and his lobby are like, oh, we also remember that hairstyle from pre-time skip period. As then everyone's super happy, as then we get to see it, and it's the same hairstyle she had pre-time skip that everyone's been I think was screaming for Robin to go back to this hairstyle, because no, I think it's like one of those like controversial decisions by all the because a lot of them didn't really like how the hairstyle that Robin had post time skip, so she's now back to her old hairdo. So yeah, I do kind of wonder if this means that we're gonna have like a bunch of fan art of Robins doing her post time skip outfits with that hairstyle, how they would look. But whatever, that's a fan artist's job to deal with. So yeah, Robin's very excited the fact that she'll be able to meet Soul again, and yeah. So that's so yeah, that's where we kind of ended off with Robin's old hairstyle to be very hopeful and very cheerful, which means it's time that we talk about something sad as we cut to the Elbath to a random village and someone's screaming, "Oh no! Doctor Soul collapsed and he's not responding. How come?" So yeah, Soul I want to say Soul is dead because it's weird to think that he was revived just so he can then be found dead by Robin when she comes to Elbath. I'm assuming it might also be like a build up to a joke, like One Piece sometimes does this when they like build up something that looks serious and all that, but then it's like a very comedic reveal or something. Like I could always say something like that, especially since we don't get any kind of any kind of like truth. Like we don't even see the giant who is screaming this. Like we literally just have they say, "Oh, Doctor Soul is not coming back up." It could just be like an easy thing where it's like, "Oh yeah, the freezing thing has caused me to like start functioning a little bit." Like quite literally, I can. Sometimes I just like pass. My body just stops functioning a bit, so I can't really do much except like basic informational support. Which actually is why I had like the New World Giant World Pirates to come pick up the books because I literally physically cannot do it on my own. Like I literally would collapse, stop working, collapse, start working, collapse, start working so much it would be better to just convince some of the younglings to do the job. So yeah, I'm not saying that it's not going to be serious, but it's kind of weird that we're going to tragedy before we even have the reunion, and like feels kind of stupid to have the reveal that Soul is alive in the last arc, only to then immediately have him be dead before Robin can even see him, or to have him be alive just so he can then just so we can have like Robin say goodbye to him as he's dying. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Robin, I'm so happy that we're not. Yeah. Oh, good. We are so happy that we're together. But I'm gonna die soon. I'm dead. It's kind of a weird thing. I mean, Vegapunk at least like. I mean, alright, Vegapunk also died, even though he was like being built up for so long. But at least Vegapunk, in story, made sense. Soul is just like bring it back just so he can tragically die next to Robin this time. It just kind of feels weird, but whatever. That's it for Soul and One Piece. But we have to see how this is gonna resolve. If we're going comedy, or if we're just going to be a serious thing. So yeah, anyways, now with that out of the way, it's time we talk about the final chapter of the week with Chainsaw Man, chapter 183 titled Barf Hat Perf. What a way to end the week with. So anyways, we start this chapter off with where we last left off with Danji getting the flashback to the grave visit that he, Paul, and Aki had. Probably for the, what's the name, the one with the eye patch, the girl that died to change to Katana Man, probably her, as they are talking and he's remembering his feelings during that time. As then Danji realized that the snow devil's hat that came off him, like, it's so disgusting, it makes it all puke, as he's then kind of going, he needs water, which he sees the river, and then he jumps into this river. Remember this, he jumps into a river as he's just wearing like short shorts and an undershirt as he's jumping into a river that's now being covered in snow and all that at first. So he is in the river and then he starts to remember Reze, I believe was the bomb devil hybrid's name there, as he's like, as then Danjiro realizes, yeah, I've had a lot of good people that I met and always lost them. It was Aki and Power, they were good friends, and then I lost them. Razor, I thought was like my first like love girlfriend, and I lost her. Like we 5 minutes, we don't even see Razor's face. Like she's supposed to, from what we know, she's supposed to be alive and everything. It's just that for some reason she hasn't appeared. So kind of a weird thing, but whatever. I guess maybe this is gonna be King Galileo, Reze shot is sign for the fans who were screaming for her every single time there's like an unknown female figure standing near. As then we have also we now also have what's her name? Why am I blanking on the new Control Devil? What was her name again? Not my God, I cannot remember her name right now. Was it Euro? No, no, not Euro. Why am I not thinking of change? Why is the World Devil the only one whose name I'm current is going to come up? Oh, she remembers her the Control Devil's last form, and she's kind of like symbolically her and the Pats all kind of leaving to a different world to death, and yeah, he's kind of remembering how he lost so many people. And he's wonders like how he managed to get over them previously. How did he manage to get over Power and Aki, Reza, and all that? How can he now get over her and Dogs and everyone? As he remembers, oh yeah, Puchita, as we had like a visual in a world kind of thing, as we have Puchita running to him like a loyal dog he is. Like, yeah, yes, that's right. I always had Puchita by my side still, so I was always able to overcome everything and get over everything. And as he says that, we have Asa going to the water as well. She grabs Danji and pulls him out. She's like, hey, what were you thinking jumping into the water? Like, you're going to freeze yourself to death, and if not. As then Danji, after seeing Puchida, he's kind of reminded of what he needs to do and the reason why he should still continue living. As we have Danji getting this very philosophical speech about, you're right. I lost a lot of people who were very close to me. I lost a lot of very good friends and everything, but I've always managed to come over it, despite the shit sandwich that my life has been. But you know what? I can eat any shit sandwich that life has in front of me, because as long as the world has grown up and goes, I still have something to live for. As I also just look at him and be like, can you please stop talking sense? Because she's just talking about grow up and girls on our way out after he had like this very depressing scene and all that. But yeah, anyways, as Asa tells him that, Danchi looks to the side. He's like, "All right, I think we can safely say that this devil aging out does not arrest all of our abilities, because there's no way in hell that this huge ass devil hat was inside of my stomach without some kind of devil powers keeping it inside of him." Because like we had like a bit of a comparison between that like snow devil's hat, which is but also the hat seems to be comparable to like a Yeti's body, so like this not that was probably a Yeti or something. As Dan's just like, alright, if this hat was there, then this means that the Chainsaw Devil's body is still in the real world, so we can assume that these our real bodies are still there or something. As Oz isn't really following what the plan is, or why he brought this information up, but then she just tells her, "Don't worry, I have a plan now that I know the fact that the Chainsaw Devil's bodies in the real world. I'm guess this means they're gonna use their powers in the outside world or something, or I." I mean, is maybe the plan like to have Danchi eat them? So, like this is Chainsaw Man. So chances of this being like some kind of super clever thing or just something that's really ridiculous and bizarre is as likely. Like I would not be surprised if Danji's plan is like, oh, I will eat each other. Well, eat you and me, so we will both be puked out by my form in the real world. So like you get inside of my mouth and I'll puke you out in Chainsaw Man inside Devil's body, and I'll eat myself, and I'll puke myself out of the Chainsaw Devil in the real world. That's how we're gonna escape this. I mean, this is ridiculous. It makes absolutely no sense. You can probably go like thousands of problems with this, but I mean, again, this is Chainsaw Man. In their battle against Santa Claus, the way they defeated her power up from the darkness is by Danji lighting himself with gasoline to be on fire and then slicing at her as he's on fire. And that's the power of light. Chances of him doing something as ridiculous as eating himself and Asa to get out of that world is not that impossible. The question is that the plan, or did he come up with something else that they're gonna have to use? But yeah. Uh, but anyways, that's the end of the chapter, so we're gonna have to wait to see what kind of plan it Chainsaw Man will Denji have in the next chapter, and yeah, that's it for Chainsaw Man for this week. I feel like this is a lot longer than I was expecting it to go for this week, if this video to go, but whatever. Anyways, I hope you leave your thoughts on these chapters in the comments below. Don't forget to leave your thoughts on chapters that you've read this week in the comments below as well. Also, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to this channel for more videos in the future. And with that said, I cannot wait to see all of you mortals next time. Goodbye.